I go to sleep, but my voices go.
I know I should sleep, but the voices in my head go. Okay, who can remember one of those nights when troubled by rambling thoughts, your sleep gets interrupted? Things like, did you send that email? What if I wake up late tomorrow? Was I too hard on my mom? Why did I say that thing 3 years ago? Well, I'm no stranger to that kind of night. And at some point, I realized something very important. The problem wasn't that I had too many voices. It was that I didn't know who was speaking. Turns out that as human beings, we don't have one voice only. It is four. 4 elements, 4 voices, 4 bodies, and 4 very different ways of communication. And when we learn how to hear them, the night gets quieter and life gets clearer. So the first voice is this, the physical body. This voice never argues. It whispers. One word at a time. Hungry, tired, relax. If our bodies had a vocabulary, it will be very small. This is the earth element, the material plane, muscles, organs, food, and sleep. When we're not in tune into this voice, we become oblivious to our physical needs. We don't notice when we have too much of something until we fall sick from it. The voice of the body is too humble to ever scream. It just whispers and whispers until one day it is forced to stop cooperating. The second voice lives here. This is the emotional body. This one doesn't speak in words, it speaks in feelings. Sadness, joy, anger, nostalgia, and even longing. This is the water element. It is sensitive and porous. It is why we tear up when we see that someone else is crying. Our capacity for empathy. But here's the thing. The emotional body loves the past. It replays, it remembers, and it holds tight. And when we stay there for too long, we don't just feel emotion anymore. We start feeling weight. That's when remembrance can turn into rumination and memory can lead to sadness. Water, that today we have covered up, is beautiful, but if we can also drown in it. Then there's this voice, the mental body, the earth element, unlimited by design. This is imagination, ideas, stories, scenarios that haven't happened yet. It is a blank canvas at your disposal, and it is very powerful. But when it runs wild, it can turn into anxiety. Here's how we know when anxiety is talking. What if they don't like it? What if I'm occupying too much space? What if I chose wrong? What if? Anxiety doesn't speak in statements. It only asks what if questions. And these questions don't want answers. They just want our attention. The mind is a brilliant servant, but it can also be a terrible boss. And finally, we've come to our quietest voice. Who can tell me what it is? Well, it is the voice that belongs to the spiritual body, the fire element. Fire, purpose, direction, intuition. This voice never rushes. It never panics. Contrary to anxiety, it speaks in clear affirmations. This is meaningful. This is alive. Go this way. Meet that girl. Join Toastmasters. It is the energy that compounds. The sense when we can tell when something is either right or wrong before we can explain it. But here's the catch. We cannot listen to the voice of our intuition if our bodies are exhausted, our emotions are floating, or the mind is spiraling. Fire demands space and oxygen to burn. So nowadays, when I'm lying in bed, troubled with all these questions, I don't try to silence them anymore. I simply ask and I listen. Was I too hard on my body today? Is this a suppressed emotion asking to be felt? Are any of these thoughts actually leading somewhere? Or could it be my intuition pointing the way? Because when we know who's speaking, night gets quieter, sleep finally answers, and life gets better as we awaken to a deeper connection with ourselves. Thank you.